Welcome to Creepy, the best horror storyteller on YouTube.
Part 1.
I still remember the day I received the last voicemail from my missing friend, Lena. It was a cold and rainy night in October, and I was sitting on my couch, watching a horror movie on Netflix. I had tried to call her earlier that day, but she didn't answer. I was worried about her because she had been acting strange lately. She seemed distant and paranoid, always looking over her shoulder and avoiding eye contact. She told me she had something important to tell me, but she never did. I checked my phone and saw that I had a missed call and a voicemail from her. I quickly opened it and pressed play. I expected to hear her voice, but instead I heard a distorted and staticky sound, like a radio tuning in and out. I strained my ears to make out what she was saying, but it was hard to understand. This is what I heard. "Hey, it's me, Lena. I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. I've been busy. Listen, I need you to do something for me. Something very important. I need you to go to my apartment and get my laptop. It's in my bedroom, under the bed. Don't ask why, just do it. And don't tell anyone. Not even your boyfriend. Especially not your boyfriend. He's one of them. They're all one of them. They're watching me. They're listening. They know what I know. And they want to stop me. They want to stop us. They want to stop the truth from coming out. The truth about. She paused for a moment, and I heard a loud bang, like a door being kicked open. Then I heard her scream. Shit. They're here. They found me. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Run. Run. You have to run. Get out of there. Get to my apartment. Get my laptop. It has everything. Everything you need to know. Everything you need to do. It's the only way. The only way to save yourself. The only way to save the world. Please, 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 do it. Do it for me. Do it for yourself. Do it for humanity. Hurry, hurry, hurry. There's not much time. They're coming. They're coming. There. The voicemail ended abruptly, and I was left in shock. I didn't know what to think. What was she talking about? Who were they? What did she know? What did she want me to do? What was on her laptop? And why did she say that my boyfriend was one of them? I looked at my phone and saw that the voicemail was sent at 9:37 p.m. It was now 10:15 p.m. I had wasted almost 40 minutes listening to the voicemail over and over again, trying to make sense of it. I realized that I had to act fast. I had to go to her apartment and get her laptop. I had to find out what was going on. I had to help her. She was my best friend, after all. We had known each other since kindergarten. We had shared everything. We had been through everything. We had a bond that no one could break. I couldn't just ignore her plea. I couldn't just let her down. I couldn't just let her die. I grabbed my coat and my keys and ran out of the door. I didn't bother to lock it. I didn't bother to call my boyfriend. I didn't bother to think. I just acted on instinct. I got into my car and drove to her apartment. It was about 15 minutes away, but it felt like an eternity. I kept thinking about what she said. What did she mean by they? Who were they? What did they want from her? What did they do to her? And why did she say that my boyfriend was one of them? Was he involved in this? Was he lying to me? Was he betraying me? Was he trying to hurt me? I felt a surge of anger and fear. I loved him. We had been together for 2 years. We had plans for the future. We had a perfect relationship. Or so I thought. Could he really be one of them? Could he really be part of this conspiracy? Could he really be part of this horror? I shook my head and tried to focus on the road. I told myself that it was all a misunderstanding, that Lena was confused, that she was delusional, that she was sick, that she needed help, that I needed to help her, that I needed to get to her apartment, that I needed to get her laptop, that I needed to find out the truth about what was happening, the truth about what she knew, the truth about what she wanted me to do, the truth about them, the truth about him, the truth about everything. I arrived at her apartment complex and parked my car. I ran to the entrance and buzzed her apartment number. There was no answer. I tried again. Still no answer. I cursed and looked around. I saw a security guard sitting at a desk near the elevator. I walked up to him and flashed a fake smile. "Hi, I'm here to see Lena. She's expecting me. Can you let me in?" I asked. He looked at me with a bored expression and checked his clipboard. "Lena who?" he asked. "Lena Carter. Apartment 314. She's my friend. She invited me over. Can you please let me in?" I repeated. He looked at his clipboard again and frowned. "Sorry, miss. There's no Lena Carter in apartment 314. There's no Lena Carter in this building. Are you sure you have the right address?" he said. I felt a chill run down my spine. What did he mean by that? Of course I had the right address. I had been to her apartment many times before. I knew where she lived. I knew her name. I knew her. She was my friend. She was real. She existed. She had to exist. I took out my phone and showed him the voicemail. "Look, this is her. This is Lena. She called me an hour ago. She told me to come here. She told me to get her laptop. She told me she was in trouble. She told me they were after her. She told me." I trailed off as I saw his eyes widen and his mouth drop. He grabbed my phone and listened to the voicemail. His face turned pale and he started to sweat. He looked at me with a mix of fear and pity. "Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. You have to get out of here. You have to get out of here now. They're coming. They're coming for you. They're coming for us. They're coming for everyone. You have to run. You have to run. You have to run," he shouted. He pushed my phone back into my hand and ran to the back door. He opened it and gestured for me to follow him. "Come on, come on, come on. We have to go. We have to go." We have to go, he yelled. I was stunned. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to trust. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who I was. But I knew one thing. I knew I had to get her laptop. I followed him out of the door and into the night.
Part 2.
I ran after the security guard, who was sprinting towards a dark alley behind the apartment complex. I didn't know why I was following him, but I felt like I had no choice. He seemed to know something about Lena, about the voicemail, about them. Maybe he could help me. Maybe he could explain what was going on. Maybe he could lead me to her laptop. Or maybe he was leading me into a trap. I didn't have time to think. I just ran. I ran as fast as I could, ignoring the rain, the cold, the fear. I ran until I reached the end of the alley, where I saw a black van parked. The security guard opened the back door and gestured for me to get in. Quick, quick, quick. Get in, get in, get in, he shouted. I hesitated. I didn't know if I could trust him. I didn't know if I could trust anyone. I looked around and saw that the alley was empty. There was no sign of them. There was no sign of anyone. I wondered if I was being paranoid. I wondered if I was being stupid. I decided to take a chance. I decided to get in. I climbed into the van and saw that there were 2 other people inside. A man and a woman, both wearing black suits and sunglasses. They looked like agents from a spy movie. They looked at me with serious expressions and nodded. Hello, we've been expecting you. We're here to help you. We're here to help Lena. We're here to help the world. We're here to stop them. We're here to stop the truth from being erased. We're here to stop the horror from happening. We're here to save humanity. We're here to save you, the woman said. She sounded calm and confident, but I could sense a hint of urgency in her voice. I could also sense a hint of familiarity. I felt like I had seen her before. I felt like I knew her. I felt like she was someone important, but I couldn't remember who she was. I looked at the man and felt the same way. He looked familiar too. He looked like someone I knew. He looked like someone I loved. He looked like my boyfriend. I gasped and blinked. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was him. It was really him. He was sitting right in front of me in a black suit and sunglasses, looking like a secret agent. He was one of them. He was one of the people who were after Lena. He was one of the people who were after me. He was one of the people who were after the truth. He was one of the people who were after the world. He was one of the people who were trying to stop us. He smiled and reached out his hand. Hey, babe. Surprise. I know this is a lot to take in, but don't worry. Everything will be okay. Everything will make sense. Everything will be clear. Everything will be revealed. Everything will be over. Everything will be fine. Just trust me. Just trust us. Just trust the plan. Just trust the mission. Just trust the cause. Just trust the truth. Just trust the horror. Just trust the horror, he said. He sounded calm and confident too, but I could sense a hint of madness in his voice. I could also sense a hint of danger. I felt like he was lying to me. I felt like he was manipulating me. I felt like he was using me. But I couldn't remember why. I looked at his hand and felt a surge of emotion. I felt love and hate, joy and pain, hope and fear. I felt confused and conflicted, torn and betrayed, lost and found. I felt like I wanted to hold his hand. I felt like I wanted to slap his hand. I felt like I wanted to do both. But I couldn't decide what to do. I looked at the security guard and saw that he was holding a gun. He pointed it at me and smiled. "Sorry, miss. This is the end of the line. This is the end of the game. This is the end of the story. This is the end of you. This is the end of Lena. This is the end of the world. This is the end of everything. This is the end of the truth. This is the end of the horror. This is the end of the horror," he said. He sounded calm and confident too, but I could sense a hint of glee in his voice. I could also sense a hint of evil. I felt like he was enjoying this. I felt like he was mocking me. I felt like he was killing me. But I couldn't remember how. I looked at his gun and felt a flash of panic. I felt scared and helpless, trapped and doomed, hopeless and desperate. I felt like I wanted to scream. I felt like I wanted to fight. I felt like I wanted to run. But I couldn't move a muscle. I heard a loud bang and felt a sharp pain in my chest. I saw a red stain spreading on my shirt. I saw blood dripping from my mouth. I saw darkness closing in on my eyes. I saw nothing. I heard a voice in my ear. It was Lena's voice. It was the last voicemail from my missing friend. It was the last thing I ever heard. "Hey, it's me, Lena. I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. I've been busy. Listen, I need you to do something for me. Something very important. I need you to go to my apartment and get my laptop. It's in my bedroom under the bed. Don't ask why, just do it. And don't tell anyone. Not even your boyfriend. Especially not your boyfriend. He's one of them. They're all one of them. They're watching me. They're listening. They know what I know. And they want to stop me. They want to stop us. They want to stop the truth from coming out. The truth about. She paused for a moment, and I heard a loud bang, like a door being kicked open. Then I heard her scream. "Shit! They're here. They found me. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Run. Run, you have to run. Get out of there. Get to my apartment. Get my laptop. It has everything. Everything you need to know. Everything you need to do. It's the only way. The only way to save yourself. The only way to save the world. Please, 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 do it. Do it for me. Do it for yourself. Do it for humanity. Hurry, hurry, hurry. There's not much time. They're coming. They're coming. There." The voicemail ended abruptly, and I was left in silence. I was left in death. I was left in horror. I never got to her apartment. I never got her laptop. I never found out the truth. I never found out what she knew. I never found out what she wanted me to do. I never found out who they were. I never found out who he was. I never found out who I was. I never found out what the horror was. But I had a feeling that it was not what I thought. It was not what you think. It was not what anyone thinks. It was something else. Something worse. Something unimaginable. Something unspeakable. Something unthinkable. Something unending. Something unstoppable. Something inevitable. Something inescapable. Something horrifying.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more similar horror stories.